Terri Sarch from DFID.
Right. Thanks very much, Steve. And I'd also like to echo Simon's words and thank David for a really useful for me understanding about how HLTF, the High Level Task Force, works. And that was really helpful. Before I go on, I'd just like to sort of reflect on what's been said about the DFID conference yesterday and the DFID white paper planning process. And as you'll know, that conference was to kick off consultation about the white paper. And whatever you may think, the fact is the white paper hasn't been written yet.
Oh, really?
I know it hasn't been written yet. And I think David said that food security wasn't going to be a chapter. I think it's right that it isn't planned to be a chapter, but we do have a whole 12-week consultation period, and I would urge all of you to get involved. And there is opportunity on our website to put in your comments. And I think yesterday when Lawrence Haddad said at the DFID conference, if food security isn't a major feature of the white paper, then we'll be betraying 1 million hungry people. I mean, that was a very strong message, and it was listened to in DFID. And I would urge all of you to get involved in the consultation process and make your messages heard as well. So please do. I'd also like to say, the challenge that David set out between the sort of longer term investment in agriculture and smallholder farming and the short term issue is a real challenge for DFID. As Steve said, I'm working in Africa division, and really a lot of the focus of my work is supporting the longer term planning process, and in particular supporting the comprehensive African agricultural development programme. And that process is centred on government-led planning to have a coordinated approach to planning for agricultural development and food security. But the process is going quite slowly, and there's a huge challenge. To meet short-term food security needs, there is, and we would even say, there's a vacuum there, and all sorts of people are rushing in to fill that vacuum, and we're quite concerned about that. And the proposal for vertical funds is a concern for this. And I'd also like to say we're strong supporters of the high-level task force. We give our full backing to the comprehensive framework for action, and indeed we've seconded Neil McPherson, who's working with David in the high-level task force. So we're right behind it, but we would urge them, and I believe we must have been one of the people urging against the vertical fund. And
yes. One
of the reasons for that is that we very strongly believe that national governments should lead their own agricultural and food security planning processes. And our real concern is that people parachute into countries, they have a big bag of money, they're offering short-term money after short-term planning processes, and we're very concerned about what impact that will have on the longer-term planning process. So that's the reason behind our sort of opposition to vertical funds. And we'll continue to encourage the high-level task force not to go down that route. And I also move on to the right to food. We're strong supporters of the comprehensive framework for action. We're probably not quite so 100% behind the idea of the right to food, and I know my colleague Tim Waits over there is much better briefed on this issue. But I guess the issue there is behind what is the role of government in the food system. We're talking today about what the role of the UN is, but for us in government, we're thinking, what is our role? How should we? And I believe there is a move that government does have a bigger role in the food system, and this idea of a right to food implies that government does have a much bigger role in the food system. I guess we're not really sure on what that is, but I guess the most important thing is to get agreement and coordination globally across the world about what the role of government is in the food system. And the fact that there are different perceptions of what the role of government is what is behind the fact that we have huge government subsidies in North America and Europe, and what impact that has on the global food systems and trade systems. And what we would really like to see is a global partnership, a global agreement on what is the role of government in the food system, and hopefully from that we could get much better coordination on trade liberalisation, on subsidies, on tariff barriers and all of that. We think that's the way forward. So
Thank you, Terri. That's wonderful. David has broadened the envelope, and you've managed to broaden it even further, Terri. The challenge to end all challenges, to get Northern Farm Policy together. Fred,